Jared Leto thought he was stepping into history. When he put on the green hair dye, the silver grill, and that wild purple trench coat. He wasn't just becoming the Joker, he was becoming a new kind of Joker. After Heath Ledger's Impossible legacy and right before Joaquin Phoenix's Oscar-winning run, Leto believed he'd be the next crown prince of chaos. And Warner Brothers believed it too. They hyped him up as dark, dangerous, and transformational. Behind the scenes of 2016's Suicide Squad, Leto went full method. Sending his castmates bullets, used condoms, and a dead pig, he blurred every line between himself and the role. It wasn't just acting, it was obsession. Or, depending on who you ask, it was destruction in disguise. But when Suicide Squad released, something strange happened. Or rather, something didn't happen. Leto's Joker barely appeared. Most of his scenes were cut. His storyline with Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn was gutted. The massive build-up, the anticipation, the marketing, the chaos fizzled into a few scattered moments on screen. Fans were confused. Critics were brutal. The public almost instantly turned on him. The tattoos, the grill, the gangster swaggered, all felt like a bad parody of what Joker should have been. Harsh memes followed, one-liners, mockery. And while the world laughed, the man behind the role felt blindsided. Privately, Leto was devastated. Rumors spread that he was furious with Warner Brothers. Some insiders even claimed he tried to block the production of Joker, the upcoming artsy version starring Joaquin Phoenix. Whether true or not, the message was clear. Leto felt abandoned and embarrassed. Meanwhile, Phoenix's Joker exploded. It did everything Leto hoped to do: win awards, earn respect, break the box office. The internet crowned a new king, and Leto's take was tossed into the shadows, forgotten, or worse, mocked. But then came a glimmer of hope. Years later, Zack Snyder's long-lost cut of Justice League was released, thanks to fan pressure and a growing online movement. And in its final minutes, there he was, Leto's Joker, reborn. He was darker now, more restrained. Gone were the tattoos and bling. In their place, haunted eyes, a quiet madness, and a single powerful scene opposite Ben Affleck's Batman. It almost felt redemptive, as if Leto's Joker was finally being taken seriously. As if, maybe, just maybe, this version had a future. And then, everything changed. Peacemaker happened. Created by James Gunn, the Peacemaker show was loud, wild, and unapologetically ridiculous. It made fun of everything from the Justice League to serious superhero tropes to its own universe. And in one moment, buried inside a joke, it erased years of DC lore with a single line. When the Justice League shows up late to a battle, Peacemaker turns to Aquaman and says, "It's not a rumor. UF asterisk, asterisk, asterisk fish." The audience laughs, and somewhere, Jared Leto's Joker disappears without a word. Why does that matter? Because no one in that show even mentions the Joker. Not the Suicide Squad, not Batman, not even Harley Quinn. In Gunn's new universe, Joker isn't just missing, he's irrelevant. And that silence speaks louder than any death scene ever could. It wasn't that Jared's Joker was killed. He was forgotten, dismissed, written out of existence, not with drama, but with indifference. It was a joke that hit like a bullet. If you look closer, Peacemaker wasn't just a silly anti-hero. Dancing in his underwear was a declaration of a new era. James Gunn was cleaning house, rebooting the tone. And in this new DC, there was no room for the haunted, tragic, grim-dark Joker that Leto had tried to play. This was a universe of absurdity, where sincerity got laughed out of the room. And Leto, he was decades too serious for this party. The irony is, Leto was always trying to give us something different. His Joker wasn't just chaos for chaos' sake. He wanted to build a myth. A tortured love story with Harley Quinn. a vision of madness fused with style, menace, and heartbreak. But the world never gave him the chance to finish it. His Joker wasn't just unpopular, it was unfinished. And somehow, Peacemaker's quick dismissal made that feel final. And it hurt because, say what you want about Jared Leto, he puts everything into his roles. He doesn't dabble, he vanishes. He once said, "Sometimes you give your soul to a project and it swallows it whole." You could hear it in his voice. That wasn't bitterness. That was grief. He wanted to be more than a meme. He wanted to make cinema. Instead, he became the punchline to a joke that slammed the door shut behind him. Now here's the truth. John Cena's Peacemaker may have killed Jared Leto's Joker more effectively than Batman ever could. Not with fists, but with laughter. Strategic, cinematic, brutal laughter. And maybe James Gunn knew exactly what he was doing. Maybe he saw the past, the backlash, the tears, the drama. And he cut the cord. And in doing so, he showed the world what happens when a character and the actor who played him may so longer need it. So the question isn't whether Jared Leto will ever play Joker again, because he won't. The question is, did anyone really understand the Joker he was trying to be, or did we laugh too soon? The silence didn't come immediately. For a while, fans were still hoping. After all, Jared Leto had technically returned in the Snyder Cut. He still looked open to it. But with every passing day, that silence grew louder. Warner Brothers began distancing itself from the Snyderverse. One by one, its icons were quietly let go. Henry Cavill left as Superman. Ben Affleck's Batman was shelved. The past was being erased, polished into oblivion. And no one was talking about Leto's Joker. Not in press releases, not in interviews, not even ironically anymore. And then James Gunn was handed the keys. He wasn't just brought on to direct movies. He was crowned the architect, the leader of a whole new DC. Studio executives wanted stability, vision, humor. Gunn had delivered that with Guardians of the Galaxy at Marvel. Now he was being asked to breathe that same life into DC's dying universe. And to do that, he had to burn the old world down. All of it. Even the weird, chaotic, haunted world Jared Leto had tried to build. And Leto. He vanished again. No cryptic Instagram posts. No statements, just silence. It almost felt intentional, like a man finally letting go. Like he had given his heart to one of the biggest roles in modern Hollywood history, only to have it swallowed up by studio cuts, internet jokes, and a rebrand that left him behind. But the truth is, it didn't start with Peacemaker's joke. That was just the moment it became undeniable. The final, laughing eulogy for a Joker who had died a long, slow death. Because while Leto was still hoping for another shot, the universe around him had already decided he's not coming back. Behind the scenes, big changes were happening. A new Batman, a new Superman, a full reset of the tone, the look, the heart of DC. Jared Leto was too tied to the old guard, to the version of DC that audiences had moved on from. In a way, it had nothing to do with his individual performance. It was about the moment itself, a moment that had passed. And yet there's something deeply tragic about how it all ended. Because Jared never got his movie. He never got a chance to fully tell his story as the Joker. No origin, no arc, no focused film. Just shattered pieces left on the editing room floor. And a few eerie scenes in a director's cut scene only by the most devoted fans. What Joaquin got, what even Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger got, Leto never received. Closure. It's not just the erasure that hurts. It's the incompleteness. He trained, he transformed. I committed more than anyone probably should have. And instead of a legacy, He was handed nothing but internet mockery and a death sentence delivered through a snarky superhero with a toilet bowl on his head. But sometimes endings are a beginning hiding in disguise, because if you really consider it, what is the Joker supposed to be? He's misunderstood. He's laughed at. He's discarded by society. Seen as too extreme, too strange, too broken. He's chaos, wrapped in loneliness. That's not just who Leto played, that's what he became through this process. Whether he wanted to or not, Jared Leto didn't just act the Joker. He lived the fall of one. He leaned too far in. The world blinked. And the role devoured him whole. But maybe that's the cruel brilliance of it. Not every artist gets the applause they deserve. Sometimes they only get silence. Sometimes all that's left is the echo of what could have been. And when the story ends in a laugh, not a bang, it leaves everyone uncomfortable. Leto's Joker didn't fail because he wasn't trying. He failed because the universe around him changed faster than he could keep up. What once looked edgy became embarrassing. What once looked bold became try-hard. The culture shifted. Cynicism won. And Jared got swept out to sea while still trying to swim upstream. But this isn't just about Jared Leto. It's about how Hollywood treats reinvention, about how fast a trend becomes a relic, about what happens when a performance doesn't land in the moment and no one's willing to wait and see if it just needed more time. In any other universe, maybe with a different director, a different timeline, or a little less studio meddling, Leto's Joker could have made sense. He might have been brilliant. But we'll never know now. And that's what makes Peacemaker's joke so sharp. Because it didn't just move on, it mocked the very idea that we ever hoped for more. John Snay didn't just walk into a scene and steal the spotlight. He sealed Leto's fate with a one-liner. And that was it. No funeral. No final battle. Just laughter. One punchline. One new tone. And a world that spun forward without looking back. But Leto, he's still out there, still climbing mountains, disappearing into deserts, dressing like some wandering mystic between fashion icon and forgotten rock star. He rarely speaks. He barely posts. If he's bitter, he doesn't show it. If he's heartbroken, he hides it well. Maybe that's the final act for him now, not playing a clown, but surviving one. They say the saddest clowns never take off the makeup. They just smile wider each time the crowd turns away. So no, Jared Leto will never be the Joker again. Not because he couldn't, but because someone else told the world louder, funnier, and faster that his time was up. And in an industry that moves on without mercy, sometimes that's all it takes. But maybe, just maybe, long after the new Jokers have come and gone and the laughter has died down, someone will look back and wonder, what if Jared Leto's Joker had been given more than 10 minutes of screen time? What if he'd had the space to breathe, to bleed, to mean something? Because the tragedy isn't that he wasn't great. The tragedy is we never got to find out. And maybe that's the most Joker thing of all. Fade out with soft instrumental music. Slow motion footage of Jared Leto walking backstage. Images of his Joker laughing behind cigarette smoke. The fading sound of silence. Empty applause. Voiceover. Final line sometimes in Hollywood. The only thing more powerful than applause is forgetting what was never given a chance to earn it.